Yay, I think we got it. Hello. Hope everybody's doing well today. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Clay Witch Next Door. Today, I am really excited to share with you some glaze results from a couple of pieces that you guys have been watching me make during these live broadcasts. And so there's a couple of them now that we have taken all the way through from creation to end. And yeah, I fired them over the weekend. And so I've been excited to share them with you guys. And just looking at my stream, making sure it looks good. I think we're all there. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Maggie. Oh, that's interesting. Are you on right now? Because it's showing me that there's nobody on, but yet you're saying hello. So that's weird. Oh, now it's showing me there's one person on. Okay. Hi. What you doing today? I have a beautiful friend here. Let me see if I can get her to come on camera. Come here. Come here, baby. Let's see. Come here. Come here. Come here. Can you jump up? Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh. Anyway, Frida is here. I don't know how to get her to be on camera. That's a good girl. Come here. Oh, that's a good girl. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, she's keeping me company out here. Oh, now she's ready to play. Reading and unpacking mainly. Okay, great. All right, Frida, we're not playing. Sorry, honey. Can you lay down? Come here. Come here, baby. Let's get in your taco. Come here. Come here, Frida. Frida, come on. Down. Oh, that's a good girl. Yes. Stay. Dad had to run his bike over to the bike shop because, of course, there's something majorly wrong with it right before we're getting ready to go on our bike trip. Well, not bike trip, but going to Montana where we're going to be biking a lot, and something's wrong with the back end. So I'm like, we got to get that fixed before we go. Well, between Frida and Basil, we have just like Vishla energy like crazy. We want to get them together because they're so similar. Oh, they're just the best. Okay. All right, so today's card is Softly, Softly, the Tender Touch. That's pretty. The feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to attain greater things, but don't necessarily have a proportionally greater supply of energy at our disposal, it's time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of feminine wisdom, yes. However, a cultural ignorance of the feminine way currently prevails. Can I get an amen? We are generally taught that the more force we use, the more we try to make things happen, the more we will achieve. The feminine way is not about force, nor is it about driving, striving, pushing, or grabbing at what we can in order to create. Ooh, this is good. It's about inviting what we wish for to come into the space we've provided for it, internally and in our lives. This method cultivates more energy, causes less stress, and attracts what is desired. It is manifestation by invitation rather than by will or force. There's an old story that the sun and the wind were debating about who was more powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with a coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped his coat around himself more tightly to protect himself against the force of the wind. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He shone down, becoming brighter and brighter until the man slipped off his coat, slung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, quite possibly wondering what was happening with the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do by being. You are being asked to surrender your forcefulness, your determination, and your intense activity, even if it's just for this moment. Does this mean that you have to surrender the goals you're chasing through these endeavors? Certainly not. This is not about letting go of achievement. It's about understanding the process of manifestation in a more intelligent way. There's a way of creating that gives you energy and doesn't leave you utterly worn out. It's about allowing what you want to come to you. Be yourself absolutely, naturally, and with ease. Shine your light and allow your presence to invite that which you wish to receive. It is about cultivating an energetic affinity with what you seek, rather than feelings of lack and need. Do you see the subtle but important difference? To feel that you are already a naturally abundant being who gratefully invites more of what you want into your life is rather different to feeling lack, fear, and wishing that your world would change. It's a bit like dressing for the job you want, even if it is not the job you have yet. You energetically embody what you wish to attract more of into your life. Like attracts like. This oracle brings you a message. You do not need to push quite so hard to receive what is naturally coming to you. Your push comes from a place of uncertainty over whether or not you will succeed. You need to relax and have more faith in yourself. All things come in time, rightfully and according to a great loving wisdom. You are not immune to this. You shall have your time and shine too. Rebel against any voice of fear within you or around you that tells you otherwise. It is okay to become softer, to feel the energy of what you wish to attract into your life, and to act as much as you can as though it's already that way. You are not fantasizing or daydreaming or failing to live in the real world if you do this. You're actually working with the feminine art of manifestation through gentle beingness and attraction. As you soften into becoming what you're seeking, what you wish for will not be able to resist your shining, inviting presence. This oracle also comes with the special message that you have been working very, very hard. You have learned much and accomplished much, but it is now time to change your approach. Let go of any force in your approach to creation now. Everything serves a purpose, and learning the benefits and limitations of the more forceful way of manifestation through effort and willpower was a useful lesson. However, if you were to continue with that approach, it would stop working for you because you're now beginning to create on a far grander scale that is beyond what an individual can manifest through willpower alone. you are individually creating through your healing and art, but also contributing globally to the new consciousness through your own spiritual growth. You are part of a global healing manifestation process. You are, through your way of being in the world, helping to birth a new awareness. This new way will heal the human heart and bring it back into balance with nature. This is essential for the human soul to survive, flourish, and to cooperatively nurture the earth rather than destroy her natural resources. You may or may not be consciously aware of the extent to which this new way of manifesting through receiving rather than taking can actually help all of humanity. But nonetheless, it is playing an important role in greater human evolution. It is the power of attraction, of magnetism, rather than that of striving and force, that will replenish your energy and restore your body, mind, and heart after your struggle. This change in approach will encourage the shift from head to heart that is essential for your individual well-being and for the greater human evolution. You need to heal so that you can help heal the world. Oh, help the world to heal. Does this give you absolute permission now in your own mind to take an easier approach to your sacred, rebellious, creative manifestation? Healing process. Say aloud, I shine like the sun, radiant with grace, and all that I desire comes to me according to perfect timing. I relax, believe, and receive through unconditional love. This is now so. Wow, I really, really love that card. That one resonates big time with me. Hi, Kate. Thank you for joining me and us. So good to have you. All right. So that felt good. I'm glad I took the time to do that. So today I am really excited. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. My camera angle's not great. To share with you guys some of the results of the Glaze. Waved at this. Kate waved at the screen. Hi. Okay, so I think my first reveal, you guys have been on with me as I've been creating these little mushroom houses that I make to sell down at Art Space on the Coast or to anyone that wants one. And I built these two from scratch on screen. And so you've seen the whole process and how I've carved them and how I made decisions about what kind of doors to put on, everything. And I'm super excited to show them to you today. So let me show you the first one. This is the first one. So now you guys can maybe help me come up with a name. I like to name these little guys. I have one named Mist Hollow, and I have one called Emberwick Cottage, and I think I have one that's like Ferndale something. I don't remember. But anyway, this one is blue. Oh, I got to tell you guys. Okay, so I did a glaze firing, and for the first time, I actually forgot to put I forgot to plug the peepholes. So in a kiln, there's two holes on the side of the kiln that sometimes when you're wanting to fire a low fire thing or bisque, or you want there to be lots of airflow, you keep those unplugged, and it keeps, it helps the kiln to go hot a lot slower. Well, for glaze firing, you never want to leave them unplugged. And I accidentally did. And I fired the whole firing with them both unplugged. And it's so funny because I came in that night and I could see, when it was like up at, 1900 degrees, I could see the bright red heat just emanating from the kiln. And even then it didn't dawn on me that that's not something I usually see. So I fired the whole thing. My kiln aired out at the end because it couldn't ever get quite to temperature. And so when I first pulled this out of the kiln, this whole thing was brown, and kind of like this color that's here on the top of the mushroom. The whole thing was brown because this particular glaze has a lot of brown undertones in it, but the blues only come out through the heat. And so anyway, that was, thankfully, every piece that I did, I had to refire, and I just refired it to the correct way and plugged the peepholes, and thankfully everything came out. I was really worried because sometimes when you refire, you don't know if things are going to come out or not. And so yeah, this is this one. I love it. Let me show you. So the intention is to have tea lights, and I sell them with a little tea light, and they sit right over the tea light. Let me see if you can get that in there. And yeah, so the little light shines through the windows, and here in the back, they shine through the little windows. So cute, you guys. I don't know. I'm for some reason I find these very charming. So that's that one. Megan says, I see something like Moonshatter or Nightshade in the name for this blue rush. Ooh, Nightshade. Oh, I like both of those very much, especially because, oh no, this thing died. Oh, it's barely hanging on. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me show you the next one. So let me put this here. Oh, thanks, Megan. This blue glaze is called Blue Rutile. And my husband loves this glaze too. I've put it on several different things, and it looks really good on the speckled buff clay. It gives it a little bit even more of a warmer. Okay, so this is the next one, and you guys, I love it so much. So this is sandstone glaze, and it's like a satin, but these little crystals form, and the crystals themselves get kind of metallic-y, but it really looks like, you know, stone or mushroom cap or whatever. So this is this one, and I love, I'm really liking this design of the dots in the mushroom house itself. I think it's so visually pleasing holding it away. And then I've got the little carved door. I only put manganese oxide wash here and nothing else. And you can see that it kind of turns a little bit metallic-y when it gets hot. And it's got a little diamond door, a little diamond window. And then this one has just one window in the back that's open. So here's what this one looks like with, let's see if we can show that. Gotta get my face out of the camera. Ah. Oh, I need to get a better angle. Anyway, that's this one. And then in the back. Thank you. So yeah, Meg, if you have any fun, clever names for this, or anybody have any fun, clever names for this one, let me know. But I love this one. I love them both. I love them both so much. Keep the little candle under there. I guess you can't really see it. Anyway, loving the top of the mushroom. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Okay, so that's the first reveal. I think I'm gonna save that. I have two more to show you, and I'll save them for a bit. I'm gonna kind of pivot and show you guys a couple of other things. So I'm gonna put those over here, I guess. And then last week, I was working on this bird, and I wanted to show you guys the update. So I have taken both iron oxide wash and manganese wash and kind of done separate coats of each. You can see that this is a little more red up here, a little more dark. And so I've just kind of washed both sides of it. And then I've taken some pinstripe tape and I have marked off these feather patterns on the little feathers in the back. And now, oh, and this is just manganese wash on the beak. And then what I'm going to do now is I've got some beautiful kind of satiny white glaze that I'm probably going to just like sponge over this because I want some of these warm tones to come through. So I don't want it to be real full coverage. And yeah, then we're going to throw that in the kiln. It's probably going to have to wait till after I get back from Montana. I'll be gone for a couple of weeks, but I'm glad I didn't do this on camera because it was super tedious. And each one of these little sections had to be cut, and I kept making them the wrong length and had to recut them. But I did that during a call. And then I wanted to also show you guys this work in progress. So this is, I think I showed this to you guys once before, but this is actually 2 pinch pots that I use this as a demo in my Monday night hand building class to show that you could put 2 pinch pots together and create, an empty vessel, and shape it, use paddles to shape it. So I created this kind of bullet shaped thing and I didn't really know what to do with it. So I just, I cut like, holes in it, and then I used my thumbs to make these deep, deep impressions. And then I don't know, I just carved these weird things around this, and of course they look like vulvas. um, and I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know. It's interesting. I think the glaze is going to make a huge difference on this, and so I'm trying to decide if I want to like glaze these and leave the body kind of natural clay, or vice versa, like glaze this body and then leave these like just washed. And like, I think either effect could look really cool and different. So that's that. um Megan says, this bird is so cool, Mom. I'm so excited to see how the feathers turn out. It's so unique. Thank you. I actually thought about this because I want to live stream when we're in Montana. And I thought it would be really fun for you and me and Dad to sit around the table and make a project together. And I was wondering if maybe we should make a set of birds together. I think that could be really cute. And now that I've done it, it would be easier for me to replicate it. So we might be doing that during our live stream. Okay. Okay, so now I thought it could be fun. So this is a bowl that I'm making for my own personal self. I wanted a nice big salad bowl, and we have this beautiful old Pyrex bowl that's really deep, like a mixing bowl. So I used that as a form, and I draped this slab over it. And oh, it's funny. Sometimes I think I'm so, like, oh, I know how to do something so easily, and then I do it, and I made like I don't know. I guess it's an amateur mistake. I don't really know quite how I did it, but the center of the bowl is off center. I don't know if you can see that very well. I mean, at least, well, on camera it looks okay, but this side comes, it's like the bowl flares out more on this side than it does on this side. And I'm guessing it happened when I took it off the form. It kind of got pulled over a little bit on one side. And so it's pretty wonky. I have to laugh at it, but I would like to kind of refine it a little bit. And I thought that I could do that here on camera. And I'm not exactly sure my plans for it yet, of course, which probably surprises nobody. But also, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'm realizing that my picture-in-picture camera needs to come down just a little bit. And I'm gonna reduce it just a little bit more so you can see more of the bowl. So the other thing was I put it on as a slab, and then I didn't, and then I added coils onto it. And you can also kind of see that transition where between, because it's a little bit thicker where I started adding the coils. So I don't know. This is all learning. I used to have this really amazing bowl form, and I used it over and over again to make my bowls on, and then I accidentally broke it. So I'm trying to find a new process for bowls. But this is a sure form. It's called a sure form. It's basically like a cheese shredder. And I'm just using that to, I'm going to take down these walls a little bit. This lip over on this side of the bowl is really tall. And also look at how thick this clay is. I think I rolled it too thick. I've got a slab roller that's amazing. I got it for free and I'm very grateful for it. But it is it's not, it's a little uneven and it rolls my slabs kind of wonky. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's, sometimes I just prefer to roll my own slab instead of using the slab roller. Because I mean, this is like way thicker than I usually do for a bowl. I think this is about 3/8 inch and I usually do a 1/4 inch. But what I might do then, because I have so much clay, is maybe I'll carve this bowl. That gives me lots of room to play. And I'm somebody who really likes an organic, live edgy kind of wonky rim. And so I'm not going to try to make this rim like perfectly even all the way around. I kind of like the idea of having some higher and lower points. So I'm just, and the thing with a Sureform is that it can, it takes off a lot of clay. And so I have done, there have been times, especially early on, where I shaved down a little too much. Because it's a very satisfying process. So this still has one really low point right here as I'm looking at it in profile and one really high point. So I don't want to go any lower than this. In fact, as I'm looking at it, I feel like I might want to go back in and add another coil, but I am going to take this side down to try to meet up with that as much as I can. Or at least get it in the same ballpark. This side over here is really tall. Um, I'm sorry if I bump the table and make the camera wobbly. I I don't think I am, but I got a new table yesterday. So exciting. I got a big sit stand table here, which is allowing me to stand here to do this instead of sit, and I love it. It's nice and big. I can still have people over to sit here with me, but now I have a way to look up at my pieces a little bit easier. Now I'm just taking this Sureform and I'm just kind of doing a really light pass through the inside of this rim where there's kind of like a little bit of an overhang of the clay from where I shaved it down on the top. So I'm just kind of using this Sureform to just thin out this rim a little bit. I need to decide, because I've shaved down quite a bit off the height, and I need to decide if that's because one of the things that always bites me is the shrinkage. And I often will look at a piece and be like, oh, I love it that size, and not really considering the fact that it shrinks by like 12%. So this is going to shrink quite a bit, and I'm not, and this is actually the size that I would like it to be now. So that's probably going to have to add some more coils. And so what I think, well, first let me get out all of these little shavings. That's really pretty. I actually like it much better now. And see, just doing that shaving back kind of helped the eye to not see so much of that, uh, the different flare on either side. So I need to think about whether I want to, I need to think about what I want to do. And so this is my usual process is sometimes if I don't feel like I know exactly what I want to do, like I can't decide right now if I want to keep it this size or if I want to try to add more coils onto it, because, and the reason I'm hesitating is because this bottom part, this part right here is pretty, this is like cheese hard, if not leather hard. In other words, the moisture level is pretty stiff. This is actually almost good enough for carving. And so if I add fresh coils to it right now, there's quite a bit of difference in the moisture level between the fresh coils and this one. And, sometimes that can cause cracking or just other problems in the firing. And yeah, so if I do want to add more coils to this, I'm going to need to rehydrate this bowl a little bit and make it a little bit more moist, so that when I add coils on, it is close to the same moisture level. So that's the decision. Do I want to try to rehydrate this thing and get it back to a place and keep adding coils in, or do I want to think of this bowl as another lesson, because it's the first time I used that particular drape bowl and I made too thick of a slab, so it was a learning process, and I could try it again, and just do it, with a thicker slab. So that's actually kind of the direction that I'm leaning. So maybe what I'll do is I'll save this bowl for Thursday's live stream, and maybe we can carve it together. Oh, as I'm looking at it turn on the video, you can see how it's kind of out of round. Pretty funny. Oh boy. Yeah, that determines it for me. I think this is going to be practice bowl. Let's have fun with it. Let's do some kind of weird carving with it, because the shape of it is pretty wonky. So I am going to do a little bit of cleanup. You can see that the outside here has a lot of like just rough where I was trying to blend everything. And so I'm going to clean that up real fast. And the thing of it is like, if I am going to do kind of cool carving with this, then I actually probably don't need to think too much about this surface right now. I'm just smoothing it right now, but I'm not going to worry too much about what it looks like, because we're just going to be carving into it, and you won't even see some of these little scratches and stuff once we're done with the carving. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is put this back into my damp box, and we will look at it again on Thursday, and maybe we'll carve it together. Or otherwise make some kind of texture in it. All right. All right, let's get all this stuff cleaned up. All right, let's do another glaze reveal. So when on my glaze day, I showed you guys this amazing pasta bowl that I, well, not amazing, it wasn't amazing at the time, but I showed you this pasta bowl that I did using this form that I had made. And here are the glaze results. It's really, really cool. So this is the pasta bowl, and I love the shape of it. It's very, again, wonky, but I kind of like it. It reminds me of the shape of a rock. And then on the outside, these little impressions here are from my, I think I either did my thumb or my fingerprints, but I did them all over when it was still kind of like softer clay to make this texture in there. And then I did an iron oxide wash on the outside. And then here is the inside. And this is a glaze called, my friend Joy and I were talking about it today, and we think it's pronounced cenote. We know it's not cenote, which is what I was calling it before. That's a very white way of saying it. So we think that it's we're not exactly sure the nationality of the word, but anyway, we're saying cenote for now. But that's this. So that's 2 coats of that, and then it's 1 coat of light flux over it, which caused this movement. And yeah, I'm kind of over the moon with it. Oh, there's Joy. Hi, Joy. So I actually made this bowl for my own personal use, but I love the way it came out so much that I'm kind of considering selling it because I put it on a display stand and it's pretty striking from across the room. So, or maybe I'm just going to make another one and maybe we could even make it on camera together. But okay, so there's the pasta bowl with that beautiful glaze. I will try to remember to put notes in the description of this stream that that show this. Thank you, Kate. Thanks. All right. Okay, and then as I was digging through my damp box, looking for stuff, I found this little form. I don't even remember making this, but it was still it's still leather hard, so I can carve into it. But I think it was just this weird shaped thing. I probably started making a pinch pot, and I don't know. I don't even remember this, but I found it. I think it's kind of cool, and I've started making these little things to sell that hold air plants. And so, for instance, let me find one. I just bought a bunch. So my idea is this, and some of them I'm making to sit on a desk like that. And some of them I'm putting holes in. This one I'm going to put a hole in and I'm going to have it up against a wall. And I just think it's cool. And depending on the kind of air plant that you put in there, it can have all kinds of personality. Here's another one. Yeah, I love air plants. I think they're really cool. And so I'm selling these little things with the air plant in them. I'm selling them for $25. No, 35. I did 35. So I thought that here on camera, we would just carve this together. Maybe you guys can help me decide what kind of pattern I want to make. So I could just carve a bunch of lines down to the point all the way around. I could do a bunch, let's see, take one of these tools and just knock all over it and make it kind of textured in that way with like circles, but not, I would do it all over the place so that it's not just like circles like what you see on the mushroom. But so that's an option. What else do we got here? Oh, I have this one carver that I like. Where'd it go? It's my yellow one. And of course I can't find it. Huh. Well, okay, so I don't know what I did with it. That's a bummer. All right, well, I could take something that's like this carver here. It has a real fine point, and I can do just a bunch of like lines into it like this. Actually, maybe that's what I'll do. I like that idea. Stand by one moment. I'm going to check my backpack to see if I put that yellow carver in there. I kind of think I did. Oh, there it is. Yay. Oh, there's 4 other tools that I was missing. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Now I really did shake up the camera. So sorry about that, you guys. Okay. So this is the tool I was thinking of. Actually, I think I'm going to do this one. So this one I like a lot. Well, first I want to show you what this looks like because I can always carve it back. But if I take this tool and I just kind of, let's do the heavier end, knock it all over this thing. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's the result that it is. It's pretty subtle. Or, let's see, I can carve this back. I think I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to make strokes in it like this. Yeah, I like this. This is going to feel kind of like tree bark. And I'm just kind of doing different lengths all the way down, different different depth levels all the way around. I'm just not being super precise about it. And sometimes those little guys get stuck in there. Hi, Sunshine. Okay. So I'm here by myself, and we're dog sitting a dog, and I think she needs to go outside and go potty. I'm so sorry. If you guys could just give me a second, take her right out here. I'll be right back. Come here, sunshine. Go potty, honey. Oh, actually, she wants to go in the house. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. She just wanted to go in the house. She's probably thirsty. Okay, so let's get back to this. Oh, good. Kevin just got home. Hi. I'm on. I just put her in the house. She was in here with me, but she was kind of whining, so. All right. Thank you. So that's making a really interesting texture. I'm kind of loving it. And one of the things I love about this process is just kind of the surprise that always comes at the end, because as you're going through it, you're like, is this really what I want it to look like? And then you get to the end and it's so cool. I really love creating texture that looks like it could be out in nature. I've really come to embrace this. I think my artistic voice, if I were to describe it, is really kind of like a celebration, recognition, awareness of the divine feminine energy of the universe, and often how it is revealed in nature. And I have, yeah, such a love affair with nature. I'm so grateful for where I live, for the ability to be able to go outside and to be with the trees and be with the water and be with the spirit of ancientness that comes with being outside, and just knowing that these waters, these lands, these trees, um, this rock, they've been here a lot longer than we have, and um, they will find a way to survive. And there's just something um, there's something very nurturing, obviously, about we call it Mother Earth for a reason, but just really learning to be in communion with her, and grateful for the way that she provides for us in so many ways, despite the abuse that we heap on her. But I don't know where I was going with that, but I was just thinking, like, nature is so cyclical, right? Like I think of all the ways that the feminine energy shows up in nature, and cycles and seasons is one of the, I think, most profound ways. There's a divine timing to everything that somehow we as humans have learned how to bypass, um, or ignore. And when we tune into nature and start attuning our lives to the seasons and to the cycles and the rhythms, and start understanding, I'm in this community called Hustle and Play, and the uh, the workbook that we use every year, it's a yearly kind of journal planner type of thing. It's always, the theme that she uses is about our garden, and tending to our garden. And I've really gained so many metaphors and things about from that community. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Getting to the place where I can't do two things at once anymore. But we talk about our lives as a greenhouse, as a garden, and how we're tending to different things. And the last conversation we had was about compost, and what that means is, like, all of the lessons, all of the experiences that we've gone through, and the hard things and trauma and heartbreak and grief, like how that all becomes compost for our garden, and we can till it back into the soil, and it nourishes our roots, and it actually is very healing and nourishing for our lives, all of these lessons. And when we can recognize that nothing is wasted, um, and that it all can be used as compost and can be used to nourish our souls and our growth in a way that nothing else would have been able to. So I'm trying to just be super random with these carvings, because I don't want it to be looking like it's forming any kind of planned pattern. I think that is looking super cool. I didn't expect it to look this cool. This clay is at the perfect consistency for carving. It's just like cutting through butter. So I'm going to be careful not to carve. It's probably hard to see, but I've created a little flat spot here that's going to be up against the wall. So I'm not going to carve into that. This tool is a Diamond Core brand tool. It is I think this is called the P1. It's like one of their original carvers, and it is nice. Um, I have learned that, like, I know a lot of people in my pottery community are kind of boycotting Diamond Core brand, because I believe owner, or at least people who are in their leadership, are big MAGA donors. Heath. Hi, Heath. Hi, Tara. I normally am watching on my phone and can't use the chat function, but hanging out with you in my studio today. Yay! Hi, Heath. Thank you for being here. What you working on today? What are you working on, some art? Or are you doing like more working on your current exhibition and production? Heath is making an amazing documentary that he has shown us the previews to, and it is so so exciting. So excited for you. You know it, girl. I'm working on some new pieces that'll be giving as gifts to some of the new babies being born. Tell me more. I love that. Heath and his partner are in the phase of life where everybody that they know is either getting married or having babies. They've been to like more weddings this year than probably any year before. Tis the time of life. All right, we're almost done with this. This looks really good. I'm glad I went this direction instead of the little pounces. All right. So here's what this looks like after carving it all the way around. I think this is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have to really think about the glaze that I want to use, but I want to use a glaze that's really gonna break nicely on texture. When I say break, what I mean is glaze that has a different color on high points than it does on low points. So for instance, this is one of those glazes that breaks brown. So anywhere where there's like texture, it kind of breaks brown on there. Or like here on the door, I probably could have put one more coat of it on there and had more of the blues come out. But anyway, so that's what I want to do on this. Is I want to make sure that I pick a glaze that's really going to highlight this texture. But I love that. That looks really cool. So many babies. A friend is in labor right now. Oh my gosh. Making pieces to give to the parents to steward and care for until the kids grow up and can take care of themselves. Oh my gosh, Heath. So Heath is one of those guys that one of those people that gift giving is like their love language, and he gives the best, most thoughtful gifts. Okay, I'm feeling really happy with that. I'm gonna smooth out this one spot right there, but I think that's gonna look really cool. And now I need to just I'll take what do I want to call it, a drill bit, and I'll drill a little hole in that so that that can be hung on the wall. Okay, and now I want to reveal my final glaze surprise to you guys from the firing the other day. So for those of you who've been with me from the beginning, one of the very first live streams that I did, I brought on a vessel that I had started making in my hand building class as a demo piece, and I carved it live on a live stream so you guys could see what it would look like carved, and now I've glazed it and I'm in love with it. Oh, hi, honey. I like the camera setup today. Thanks. So here it is. I don't know what I'm going to name this yet, but this is, I don't know. It's just like some kind of seed pod type of vessel. And look at the opening. That can be 100 different things, but that's, you know, what it looks like to me. And so I'll tell you how I glazed it, so up here, I carved it with a tool. And then for the glaze, I just did the iron oxide wash and the manganese wash, and that provided this beautiful metallic-y color. I wasn't expecting it to be that kind of shiny at the top, but I kind of love it. I really wanted to make this feel organic, and I really wanted to draw the eye upward toward this opening that is amazing and fabulous. And so I feel like I accomplished that. And then this is that sandstone glaze again. And this was in that my failed firing when I first pulled it out. It had the crystals forming, but it was a little rough, and they were all just kind of stagnant. When I ran it back through the second firing, that's when I got some of this movement in. And yeah, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know if it can, I mean, it can definitely be used as a vase. I don't know what kind of botanicals would look cool in there, but anyway, that is that piece. I'm super proud of it. Love it. Love the top of it. It would hold some flowers with thin stems so beautifully. Yeah, I think so too. I was thinking about going and trying to find a few and seeing what it would look like, or even kind of like, you could even see kind of one stem coming out that has some substance to it. I don't know, but anyway, thank you. Okay. Oh, this is the other thing that I showed. I don't know if everybody saw this, but this is my new pasta plate. I'm in love with this glaze. It's so gorgeous. So let me put that over here too. If anybody has any questions about any of those, let me know. Oh my gosh, we were cleaning out the garage this week, trying to make some room in here, and I came across this. I took a drawing class before COVID at City College in San Francisco. Let's see if I hold this up above me. This is a drawing of the living room that I lived in the apartments complex in San Francisco. And this was one of my drawing assignments. It's kind of funny. There's our little whale picture. We still have that, our little record player. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I was like, okay, I laughed at it, and then I was kind of like, I think I want to keep it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I know. I know. So many good memories on that white leather couch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is another vessel that I was working with you guys live on camera. And this is that really weird shaped thing that I think this was the first thing I started working on when I started doing live streaming. And yeah, this was another demo for my hand building class that I had started there. And I was just doing a demo for them on how to coil build. And so oh, actually, that's not true. This was something I had started here at home, and I had put it in my damp box, this bottom part, and I had totally forgotten about it. And when I pulled it out, it was still pretty floppy, but it tore in half. And so I just decided to repair it, and I've been kind of building on it with you guys. And I just pulled it out to, this week to see how it's feeling. It's still feeling really good. That damp box, it's funny, it works so well some of the time, and then other times it doesn't seem to work very good. And so I don't know, I'm doing something different. This one I did wrap it with damp newspaper before I put it in plastic in my damp box, and I think maybe that was a key difference. It's the craziest shape, and I have not been able to figure out what to do with it. I've been taking pictures of it and using the mock-up tool in the Photos app to, like, draw different profiles and designs, and they're fine. And then look what I did. Then the other day I flipped it over, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that shape. It changes everything. Let's see. Yeah, I think you guys can see that. Let me pull it out a little bit further. Here, I'll put it on the. That might be too tall. But yeah, so a non-binary face, I know. So true. I mean, they're both so good, and they both, either way, like, it feels kind of like a body form in a way. Like, this reminds me of a butt and a belly going up to a neck, and then if you flip it over, it reminds me of a butt up here and a belly going down to thin legs. So that's always what I see out of it, which is hilarious. It also kind of looks like a big giant apostrophe or something. It looks like an organ. It totally does. I kind of dig the upside down too, to be honest. And I think it's actually going to be more stable if I turn it upside down. It's got a little bit of a bigger base. And then I can cut this open. And yeah, it's got kind of this cool profile. So I wanted to take that time with you guys to put the bottom on. See if I can find my thing. Let's see, I got to think of how I'm going to do this in a way that you guys can see. Stay tuned for 1 second. So I've rolled out a slab that's been sitting here drying while I've been on with you guys. And of course, it's still pretty floppy. So I'm trying very gently to lift it off of its where it's been sitting, because it's kind of sticking to it, and you don't want to just pull it up because it can warp it. So I'm trying to pull it up gently. There we go. All right. So I've rolled this out. It's about a 1/4 inch. And we're going to attach this. So I've only rolled it out. I haven't compressed it or anything. So I'm taking this metal rib, and I'm just going to run it over this slab, both sides. I have to go to work on the documentary, but I love you and can't wait to see how this piece turns out. See you this weekend. Thank you, Heath. Love you too. Thanks for joining in. Can't wait to see you. So this is just compressing the clay. It's hopefully bringing up any air pockets. I don't see any, so that's a good sign. Now I'm going to gently lift it up and turn it over. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. So there, I am going to put it up on here a little bit. I know it's going to raise the top of this a little bit higher than what you guys probably can see, but I think the important part is that you can see down here. So I'm just basically setting this vessel right in the middle of this slab where I know that it's nice and thick and solid. And then I am going to take a needle tool. Needle tool, needle tool. Oh, I swear I spend half my life looking for tools. I really do try to put them back in the same place, but okay. I can't find it, so we're gonna, oh, here, I'll just use this one. So I'm just gonna use this knife, and I'm basically gonna just very gently mark off where the bottom of this vase, actually, that's not gonna work. All right, I'll try this tool. This is a rubber tip tool. And I'm just gonna trace around where that base meets the slab. Okay, lift it off. And now you can see, I've got the circle there where it meets. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut just a little bit outside of that because I wanna have a tiny bit extra that I can use to like blend up the sides. Actually, I wonder if I have a cookie cutter. I have a feeling these are not big enough. Oh wow, this lid is almost the right size, but oh, that's too small. So this lid is right about the right size. Actually, it's a little too small. Okay. Oh well, I was hoping it would help guide it, but I'm just going to use this and I'm going to cut slowly around. Oh, hi, Pops. I wonder what might live inside at the bottom if you open the narrow top. Exactly. Thank you for coming on today. That means a lot to me. Okay, so there's the circle. I'm just going to cut a little line out from this so that I can open this part up. And I'm going to save this clay for later. Okay. And then, so this clay is still really wet. It wants to stick to this surface. So I'm being really gentle trying to lift it up, because if I just pull this clay up from this surface and it sticks to it, it's gonna kind of warp it, you know? So when it's sticky like this to your surface, oh, there, now I've been able to move it out of the way. You wanna be real gentle with it so that you're not like causing any unnecessary warping. All right, and then I'm gonna, let's see what happens if I do this. All right, can you guys see that? So my thought is, if I put it on this way, I don't know if you can see, but it kind of, it's already concave here. And so what I want to do is this slab needs some time to firm up, because otherwise it's going to slump like that. Definitely don't want that to happen. And so this is what happens when you're live. I need to just pivot for a minute and let that sit. Because I don't want that to warp. So I'm gonna put that aside. Let's see what else is in my damp box that might want to be worked on. Oh, I just pulled these out. So these, I made these little texture balls. Joy, if you're still here, I have a feeling you might be into this. Oh, shoot. Well, these are texture balls. So I made little hollow balls, and then added this texture to them, and I'm going to fire them, and then I'm going to be able to roll them on a slab, and it's going to make really cool texture. I did 2 of them, but what I failed to do is, you know, when you have a hollow form like this, you need to have a tiny little hole in it for the air that's inside of it to escape, because the air inside this ball won't, the clay will not dry if there's no way for the air to escape. And so it'll just likely explode in the kiln if you don't add a tiny little hole. Well, I forgot to do that before they started drying. And so I tried to put these wet paper towels around them last night to try to rehydrate them, and that did not work. So I'm going to have to do some more serious rehydration of those, just to add a tiny little hole. So that's the thing with doing this work, is it's always learning something. Here's something else I just found. I don't know what this is. Oh, this looks like another pinch pot. Man, I have these coming out the yin yang. But so what I've started making these air plant holders. So maybe that's what this thing wants to be. They're actually pretty, they can actually be pretty cool. So yeah, see, I mean, that's pretty cool. You can, especially if it hangs on the wall, but even sitting down below, you need the right air plant. But if it's sitting down on the desk, you know, you can put something in there that looks like it's a little cave. So this one is definitely on the drier side. I think this is perfect for carving, and so I'm just kind of smoothing out the inside of it. The inside right here around the rim is a little rough, so I'm just using my fingertip to smooth out all that clay in there. Okay, that's better. Now that'll all get covered by glaze, so I'm not going to worry too much about it looking perfect. And then I've got to figure out if I can make a flat side to it, if it's going to be able to hang on a wall. And that's where I think it might be too dry. Let's see. Oh, see, that looks cool. I think like a little, it's just a little decorator piece. I think it's because it's too late for me to make a super flat piece. I think I'm trying to roll this around. It actually wants to sit right there a little bit. So I think I'm going to try to flatten this part out a little. See if I can get it flat right there. Okay, so it's about right here. So what I'm going to do, see if I can paddle that flat a little bit. So you can see that I've been able to create a little bit of a flat plane there. Let's see how that works. Nice. Now it doesn't, I just need to emphasize that a little bit more so it stays in place. There. Cute. I don't know why I like these weird things so much, but for some reason I think they're pretty cool. And this is something really easy that you can do with extra clay is make little pinch pots or little trinket dishes, or I use a lot of these pinch pot kind of things in my kitchen. So when I'm making food and I need to, say I cut up green onions, you know, and I need to separate the whites from the greens, and so I'll just put the greens, or I make little sauce dishes, or so, or I've made jewelry. So clay scraps, you can always even just make test tiles out of clay. It's so you can use every last scrap of it. So I'm going to get my fingers wet here and try to refine this rim a little bit. It's a little chunky. Um, so I'm just going to get it a little wet, use my fingers to kind of, I'm making kind of a little pinch, like a little V notch with my fingers. And I'm just kind of going around that rim to sort of see if I can thin it out just a little bit, or at least refine it. This clay is one of my favorite clays. It's Kentucky Mudworks is the brand, and this white clay is called Iceman. And they have Iceman regular and then Iceman with grog. And I am a really big fan of Kentucky Mudworks clay, at least the kinds that I've tried. I've tried the Iceman, I've tried the Brown Bear. Um, but I know other people really love it too. It's a great clay. So highly recommend. I can't buy it locally, at least not locally here in the Bay Area. So I get it shipped to me, but they're shipping for a pound. You know, it takes me a while to get through a 25-pound bag of clay. So I don't mind getting it shipped to me. But it's a nice bright white that takes glaze really well. It's a very forgiving clay. Um, so there, I've been able to get this rim a little bit smoother. I've created a little flat spot here. And so I think this is just going to sit here. And I, again, think that this is an opportunity to texturize a piece. So maybe on this one, instead of doing the carving like we did, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do this little bonking method that I was talking about. So I'm just going to put my fingers here on the inside to support it. And then I'm going to just use the big side. At first I want to start with the big side and see what it looks like. It doesn't really matter what direction you hold it. But I'm just going to basically bonk all over this thing to give it some texture. You want to do this when the clay is at a place where I mean, I'm definitely supporting it on the inside with my fingers, but it's also dry enough that it's taking the bonk without collapsing the walls. And I'm kind of varying my the velocity of my bonk, for lack of a better word. Some of them I'm doing a little bit harder, some of them a little bit softer. Again, it's just me wanting to try to make it feel as organic as possible and non-repetitive. See how it makes it just, it gives it you can't even tell that it was made with a perfectly round circle. It just gives it a really cool, rough, or, I don't know if it's rough, but a very textural feel. And again, I'm going all the way around, and I'm leaving all except for this flat part that I made because I want that to be as flat as possible up against the surface. And so I don't want to bonk that part. Make sure to get the bottom. All right. I'm just going over a couple of places where my bonks were a little lighter. Making sure all the places are covered. I can see a couple spots where I missed bonking. And I can see that up near the rim, at least in this one spot, the bonks are a little less defined. And I think that's because I just moistened that rim with my fingers. And so I got it a little bit wetter, and wetter clay is going to be a little bit softer and not as receptive. So I'll probably go back over this part right here once this is a little bit drier at the rim, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with that texture. I think that looks really cool. Okay. So that's what it'll look like. I mean, obviously I'm going to glaze it, but I like that texture on the outside like that. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry for a bit. Let's see, 2:30, okay. It's feeling a little bit better, but not quite where I want it to be. So I think I'm going to go actually set this outside for a few minutes. Don't let me forget about it. All right, let's take a look at this bowl again. All right, so here we are. It's definitely set up a bit more. I like the feel of it. It's getting to be on the far side of leather hard, and so if I'm going to refine this rim, I better do it now. Right now, it is looking a little rough from where I used that shaver to bring down the sides. It's a little almost like scratched. So there's a couple ways that I want to work on that. First, I want to see what this does. This is this cool tool that I got that I don't even remember who sent it to me. It felt like it was, I'll figure it out. I think this is, anyway, I don't remember who it is, but it's basically it's used for rims and foots, and it's got different, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all different sizes of like radius. And so I like to find, for instance, this one is going to be great with number 2, I think. And so you can just take this and hold it straight and then go across the edge of your bowl, and it's supposed to refine the rim. So let's see how good it works. I've only used it once or twice. So I'm basically using it to kind of clean this up and give it a nice rounded shape there at the top and kind of shave down any excess. That's pretty cool. It's actually working pretty nicely. I definitely need to do something here. That's some cleanup to do there. So I think this tool can also be used to make a foot or to refine a foot. I don't put a whole lot of feet on my pieces, but it's working great for this rim so far. So I don't know if you can see this, but right here, there's like this little edge. I think this is from where must have been from where I shaved it off. It's a very much of a straight edge, so I'm going to need to figure that out. Maybe it's just using one of these, but I need to, there's a little bit of a lip there, that I don't like. I think I might use the shaver and do a little bit more shaving down of that side right there. So what's nice about these Sureforms is, I mean, you can really use them. I've seen sculptors use these to help shape their pieces. I've only ever used it for kind of like this sort of cleanup, but I've seen people get really aggressive with it and use it to actually like redefine the shape of a piece. So this is a good tool to have. And they come in different, so I have this one which has a nice like curved radius that allows me to yeah, I don't know what it allows me to do, but I like this curved one a lot. And then I bought this one at the ceramics conference last year. This is hardcore, but this can be used in all different ways. This is a little bit more for, I bought this for kind of like odd shaped pieces. Like I don't think, I'm using it here, but I don't really love it. So I don't think I'm going to keep using it. So again, I'm just using this to kind of take off a little bit of the clay here around the rim that because it's quite thick. And this is because I added coils onto a slab and I made the coils slightly bigger than I probably should have. I was trying to make sure I gave myself enough clay to blend it in, but I made a little ridge. Okay, so there, I've taken down some clay on the outside. I'm going to go now on the inside circumference and take off a little clay on the inside of this rim too. And I'm just kind of doing a little at a time because this does take off quite a bit of clay at once, and I just want to make sure that I'm being cautious and thoughtful. And I can see that one little part of this rim is a little bit thinner, like like the thickness of the wall is a little bit thinner than the other side, which doesn't surprise me, but okay. I feel better about that. And now, so I got to get all these little clay bits out from the inside. I'm just going to take a really soft brush and brush those out of there. Okay. Now I want to, I feel like I'm happy with the profile of the rim. I'm going to go over it with this one more time with the number 2 side, just real gently. Oh, that's what it is. That's leaving a little ridge. All right. And then I'm going to now go in and try to refine this rim and make it look, because it's very scratched up now. So I have these little strips of chamois, leather chamois that I've cut into strips. These are the best. I use these all the time for smoothing out places of clay. And so, because what I love about the chamois is that's different than a sponge is if I were to go over this with a sponge, because this is a groggy clay that has sand in it, if I were to go over it with a sponge, it can wipe away the actual clay material and leave just the sand. And so it can get to be very scratchy if you only use a sponge. But the chamois helps to kind of like compress it when it's also smoothing it, and I get better results. Sometimes though, it's a little you just want to make sure I want to make sure I'm getting all of these ridges out. I can see where it kind of got from that foot thing I was making. It kind of made a little ridge. And then I'm taking that chamois and I'm just kind of going along on the inside here where it's been scratched up. So I'm still feeling like the rim now feels great, but I'm feeling this little, there's definitely, I think that the foot thing made kind of a little indentation there that I am not happy with. So let's see, I got to think about how I can get rid of that. First, I'm going to try just a rib. I'm going to try going in here and pushing it in. I think that might, see all that clay I'm getting off? That's from that little ridge. So I'm supporting the bowl, the side of the bowl on the outside, while I'm taking this rib along the inside and trying to smooth out that rim area. Okay. Hi, how are you, Candace? Yes, mushrooms. These are the ones that we carved together on camera, put together and made. Aren't they cute? And they hold little tea lights. Oh man, just made that one messy. Oh, this tea light's, I think, on the fritz. Let's see. Yeah. See how the light comes through the little windows? Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the rim alone for now. And I'm going to just make sure the bowl shape and there's no huge like ridges or anything in it. Let's see, it's 240. Well, I definitely think shaving down the rim helped with the off-centeredness, but I can, I'll definitely still be able to see that. I don't know if it's something that you can tell, but somehow when I draped the slab over the mold, I got, got it off center. So funny. Okay. All right, so I think I gotta figure out how to do this in a way that feels safe. I'm just taking that chamois to just kind of clean up the bottom a little bit. I've got a little bit of texture happening down here, which is fine, but just seeing if I can erase some of it. All right, now I got to decide. Oh yeah, I see. As I'm looking at it upside down, you can really see. So this side has this curve. This is what I was going for, is this kind of radius here. I don't know if that's coming across, but then on this, when you turn it around, it doesn't really come up as much on the sides. It comes up a little bit more flared out here, which is why I think I'm feeling that it's off center, is because one side is a little bit more flared out than the other. And, you know, at this point, it's too late to try to fix that. So we're just going to go with it. And then, oh, I do have a tool that I thought could be fun to use for this. I can figure out where I left it. All right, so this is from a brand called Mud Tools, and it is called a drag tool, and it's got these two sides to it, and it just makes different, you can cut off different indentations on either one. So let's start with the bigger one. See how that feels. I'm gonna hold this, I have the bowl sitting on a piece of foam to give it some support, but also not to be too rigid against the side. And then we take this tool and I'm just gonna pull it down like that. So it kind of takes like these little divots out, you know. I think the more I use it, the more it's gonna be intuitive. Right now, I'm still getting familiar with how it feels. And then the thing that's nice about the smaller side is you can get into some of these tighter areas. But how fun is that? So like it helps, it kind of makes like this really cool faceted texture. Love it. That's neat. Oh, I wanted to mention, this is like my whole goal for this. Okay, so these mushroom houses that we made on camera together are for sale now. They are $85 and they include the tea light. If you are interested in purchasing one, just reach out to me. I'll put a link in the description of this. Let me know. And it's $85. If you don't live in the Bay Area, we'll figure out shipping. And so I'm trying to like close the loop on that, like letting you know that these things are available if you're interested in it. And, you know, especially because you've been with me from the beginning of making them. And I think that that's pretty cool. And then also this vase is going to be for sale, or this vessel. I don't know, you can use it as a vase, but this will be for sale too. Let me know if you're interested. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to price it at yet. I can let you know. And this one, I haven't decided if I'm going to sell it. I had originally made it for me. Um, and I'm kind of selfishly wanting to keep it because there's very little about it that I don't love, but it's also quite striking. And so I'm kind of like, maybe I should put it for sale and I can just make another one for myself. All right, so I'm continuing on with just dragging this drag tool. That's what it is. It's a drag tool. Just dragging it down the side of the piece, taking out little hunks. It's kind of fun, actually. And so I can see that if I can do a longer drag or I can do a really short little drag, and it's going to change the shape of the mark that it's making and the depth. But that's the faceted. Look at that. That's cool. I love that. All right, so let's take the last 10 minutes and let's just finish this. I'm bringing that texture all the way down to the bottom of the bowl, using the smaller side sometimes to just give it a little bit of variation. Yeah, I'm really liking this. This is fun. I could do this all day, honestly. There's just something so meditative and mindful, you know. It's just being present with the form, and I don't know. It's very therapeutic. Ugh, I love this. It's a couple places, you know, I can easily see a couple places that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done a little different design. But the funny thing is once you get it all in there, your eye doesn't see those anymore. You know, it just sees the overall pattern. So try not to get too caught up in like what may seem like, yeah, like I just did something right there that I'm not happy with, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm just kind of digging in and pulling out with this thing. Different depths, different strokes for different folks. Looks geological. Well, I'm about halfway around the bowl now. Let's see. So yeah, we should probably be able to get it done in 5 minutes. See if we can get it to completion before we hang up today. Well, I mean, I'm the boss of me. I can stay on for an extra 5 minutes if I want to. I'm trying to hold the bowl up a little bit so that I'm not letting it rest on its side on this foam. You know, I don't want it to rest there because I don't want it to collapse on the side. So I'm still holding it up with my supporting hand off the foam as I'm doing this. Okay, one more. We're almost there. So for this, for a heavily textured thing like this, you want to be really thoughtful about how you're going to finish it. So we could either do another oxide wash and leave it unglazed, which is always, I'm always a fan of because I like that feel. But it could also be fun to put a glaze on this that really emphasizes and highlights this texture that we've worked so hard on. So I'll need to be thinking about what I want to do there. Again, I'm just turning it over here and there to add in some of the smaller grooves, especially up toward the rim where I need to get it into some smaller spaces. Down here at the bottom. Okay, I think we got it, guys. Let me brush it off a little bit, get rid of some of this excess clay, and then we can look at it together in the camera. Boy, it sure is kind of, this is going to be such an interesting shape because it's still kind of pliable. Like I can move it around and kind of refine that rim a little bit. But anyway, yeah, this is what it looks like. And it's going to feel so incredibly tactile in the hands when we hold it to, it can make a beautiful serving bowl, or my intention was to make it a salad bowl, but we'll see. Yeah, so what do you guys think? You like that? That was pretty cool. All right, well, I'll be firing this probably, I'll wait till I get back from Arizona, from Montana to fire this. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys, I'll keep you in on the process of what this looks like, along with everything else we've been creating. I will try to work on this weird shaped vessel on Thursday. Sorry, I shook the camera there. But anyway, thanks you guys for being here today. Oh, what kind of clay do you use? Is that a P1 yellow carving tool? Yes. Hi. So the clay that I've been using today is this brown clay is called Laguna Speckled Buff. And it's one of my all-time favorite clays. So that is kind of this brown clay, and it fires. Well, this has some red iron oxide wash, but here underneath you can see it fires kind of this tan speckly color. And then for what I used with the P1 carver was this white clay. Yes, it was the Diamond Core P1 carver. And this clay is Iceman clay from Kentucky Mudworks, which is, I love Kentucky Mudworks clay. If you've never used it, I highly recommend it. So that's what the white is. Thanks for asking. Okay, guys, I will be back on Thursday at around 1 o'clock. I hope you will join me. And I hope you've enjoyed this today. Thank you for being on with me, and thanks for interacting with me here on the chat. I love hanging out with you guys. So anyway, take care, have a great night, and I'll see you on Thursday.